Hey YouTube, Chris here, and I'm here to talk about Dragon Ball Z, the anime that started it all for me. Written and drawn by Akira Toriyama, Dragon Ball Z was unlike anything I'd ever watched at the time. It had great action, story, comedy, and an amazing cast of characters. The story of Dragon Ball Z is very simple. It follows the adventures of Goku and his companions who defend the Earth against a variety of threats, ranging from intergalactic warlords, killer androids, to near indestructible creatures. The anime first premiered in Japan on April 26, 1989 and ended on January 31st, 1996. The story later made its way to the West during the late 90s and the early 2000s. As well as having a long-running anime series, movies were made as well. Dragon Ball Z became an inspiration for many animes today. To celebrate the news of a new Dragon Ball Z movie, I've decided to go back and review the old ones. Starting with Dragon Ball Z Deadzone, released in 1989. Unlike most Dragon Ball Z movies, which are hard to determine where the story takes place, Deadzone seems to fit comfortably between the end of Dragon Ball and the beginning of Dragon Ball Z. Deadzone centers around the villain Garlic Jr., whose father once competed with Kami to become the guardian of the Earth. But due to Garlic Jr.'s father's evil intentions, he was not chosen. Unsatisfied with this decision, he staged an all-out attack, but was defeated and imprisoned in the realm of darkness. Because of this, Garlic Jr. feels a deep sense of resentment to Kami and seeks to avenge his father. In my opinion, Garlic Jr. is one of the most interesting Dragon Ball Z movie characters, as he, to my knowledge, is the only villain to ever acquire immortality from the Dragon Balls, as even characters like Frieza, who at one time was the most powerful character in the series, could not even achieve this feat. In this review, I'd like to run through the plot. The story begins with Piccolo, who still holds a grudge against Goku for his defeat at the World's Martial Arts Tournament. He is then confronted by a group of mysterious characters who ambushes him. The scene then switches to Gohan, who gets kidnapped by these same characters, thus starting the main plot of the story, where Goku has to rescue his son. After finding out that the kidnappers are after the Dragon Balls, Goku acquires the Dragon Radar and sets out to track them down. Later we see possibly one of the funniest scenes in the movie. After discovering the hidden potential in Gohan, Garlic Jr. decides to make Gohan his disciple. He then appoints one of his henchmen as Gohan's babysitter. Gohan eventually runs away. Feeling hungry, he eats a fruit apparently not for children, and goes insane, as if he was on some kind of weird acid trip. I wonder what was in that fruit. Garlic Jr. later acquires all 7 Dragon Balls and summons the dragon. He then receives his wish for immortality. However, before they have time to celebrate, Goku arrives, demanding Garlic Jr. return his son. Kami then drops into Goku's aid and talks smack to Garlic Jr. about his dead daddy. Thanks to Kami's distraction, Goku was able to enter Garlic Jr.'s hideout, where he is then confronted by Garlic Jr.'s henchmen. He squares off against them, but is eventually overpowered, but luckily Krillin is here to save the day, as bizarre as that sounds. And to everyone's surprise, Piccolo shows up to even odds. The fight then switches to Kami, who is cornered by Garlic Jr. He tries to make one last-ditch effort to save the Earth by sacrificing himself in order to destroy Garlic Jr. Garlic then states there is no point as he is immortal. Just as all hope seems lost, Piccolo and Goku make an entrance. We are then treated to an amazing fight scene where the two decide to team up in order to defeat Garlic Jr. The two unleash a devastating combination attack which should have killed Garlic Jr., but before Goku and Piccolo could celebrate by fighting to the death, a revived Garlic Jr. unleashes ultimate attack, opening up the Deadzone, which begins to absorb all matter like a vortex. Suddenly, an enraged Gohan appears. With a furious shout, he manages to knock Garlic Jr. into the Deadzone, thus saving the day. In terms of story, there isn't really anything to dissect. It's fairly straightforward, and that's probably my main problem with this movie. And don't get me wrong, I'm fully aware Dragon Ball Z is an action-oriented anime, but the story could use a little more depth to it. It also would have been nice to see some of the other Z fighters like Tien and Yamcha. Other than that, the story and everything else was great. The action scenes were well drawn, and even compared to today's standards, animation still holds up. So with that, I'll give Dragon Ball Z Deadzone a 7 out of 10. An amazing Dragon Ball Z movies. It's definitely a must watch, or if you want to collect it on Blu-ray. So yeah guys, that's my review of Dragon Ball Z Deadzone. So remember to like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe because I'll be doing the rest of the Dragon Ball Z movies. So yeah guys, take care.